Okay, I am making my way live. All right, I think I'm live. I'm just gonna check, see if I'm streaming live on Facebook. Mhm. All right. It's not showing up. Okay, cool. Hey everyone. Hi sisters. All right, so I have a very impromptu live transmission that I just want to share because it's raw, the medicine is fresh, and it is deeply connected to the container that I'm holding in a few days, Holy Father Christ Homecoming. There's been a massive shift in the Grail timelines, specifically connected to the masculine, and the work that we're doing as women is deeply connected to this and connected to the return of the king energy. And so this is something that I've been witnessing. I just want to bring some medicine in for it and just share a little bit more about this container that I'm holding in a few days in case you're called to join us and to, yeah, receive this deep healing with the Father. So I just want to start out by sharing that I just had the most amazing healing experience with Holy Father, and I've been in this portal with him for the last few days and starting to really weave this deeper medicine that's coming in for the feminine, specifically for women of the Grail, which, if you resonate with me and you're connected, you are most likely very connected to the Grail lineage and you're holding those codes, that architecture connected to the Magdalene Yeshua lines, the Rose lineage. And so yeah, this is going to be really potent for you. So, essentially, what is occurring right now is that the unions are being elevated into their higher architecture of provision and also destiny. So if you are in union or if you desire to be in union, right? If you have a desire to be in union, it means you're meant to be in union. And so if you have an actual like physical union partner right now where you're with your counterpart too, this is going to really impact in a positive way from some information that God was sharing with me last night, which it's not time to reveal that yet, but essentially, like, we're at a really big breakthrough moment here in the timeline with humanity around sovereignty and being able to really experience heaven on earth, not just in like smaller soul group portions, but also like on a collective level, which will then start to shift the hologram. This is also connected to some big grid work projects that are starting to come in now that God started opening up for me around really big grids that impact a lot of people. And for me to start getting these assignments that it's like time for it for me to start focusing on it is really big, because that means that humanity's ready for it. So there's multiple things happening right now. And what I wanted to jump on and share about this is that there's this beautiful medicine coming in right now for the feminine collective that is about softening and really coming home to God in a deeper way. So, you know, the parts of you that don't fully trust God, you know, the parts of you, especially with the Father, we're going to talk about the Father aspect here, not the feminine aspect of God, not Sophia, but we're talking about coming home to the Holy Father as the masculine aspect of God and the parts of you that don't trust the masculine, which, by the way, this is so fucking timely. Oh, hopefully that doesn't bleep me out, whatever. This is so timely because of this crazy thing that's been circulating mainstream of, I'm not going to talk about it, but this website that's gotten a lot of hits where women are basically being desecrated and, um, Yeah, that's occurring. So the fact is that women naturally don't feel safe with the masculine because of what's occurred on this planet, what's still occurring. And so in order to start really feeling safe with the masculine, in order to start really feeling that provision, protection, and that you can actually be in your feminine and not feel threatened or vulnerable, it's the portal to healing with Holy Father and allowing Him to cover you and then starting to attune you to that frequency, then you can actually start to attune to that masculine frequency in your reality. And Holy Father will show you this and teach you this. And this is where Yeshua, where Christ comes in to inform you and your Sophionic body of like what actually is a true, safe masculine presence. And for a lot of women, myself included, at a time, I didn't know what that was. I didn't think it was possible. And even being in a safe, loving relationship, Elijah and I have been in union for almost 8 years now, and we have woke up together. We've gone through some really deep initiations. And even with him being a safe masculine, there were still aspects of me that I couldn't fully heal unless I went to the Holy Father with God. So, in order to really get into like the deepest parts of your psyche, the crevices, the hidden things that you don't even know exist, but they're living in your subconscious, right? In your trauma body, they're living in these places. We got to be able to invite Holy Father and that Christ frequency into those places in order for that healing to occur fully. And this is where full restoration comes in, full rehabilitation, and also divine justice and recompense for anything that was inorganic, that went against God's law, that went against divine will, anytime across any lifetime where there was a reversal, an inverted, fallen father, masculine energy. Oh, going in and doing the things that we understand that the fallen masculine has done to the feminine, the desecration of the feminine, anywhere where that's in your field and your light body, that's going to start to shift out, and God's going to be able to get into those places, but it's got to be through the relationship. And this is something that I have really journeyed with in a really deep way, especially over the last, I would say, 18 months, and why a lot of my work has been focused on like introducing women to Holy Father and bringing them into the Christ frequency through the Holy Father, not just through the Christ Sophia frequency through Holy Mother, which is a given, right? But when you're able to really start to break down the barriers in between you and the Father, things are going to start to improve immensely in your life because you're going to be able to start receiving more in a safe way where you are just in such deep trust with the masculine, with order, right? Holy Father is divine order, justice, right? Provision, protection, stability, right? And so for your feminine to come alive and to feel in that spaciousness and to feel that creativity, that womb flow, right? The pleasure and being able to create in a really exquisitely like opulent way and like being in the overflow of abundance, right? That womb flow opulence. We did that activation. Gosh, when was that? October. So it's like really that's also connected into this, but it's like we're breaking free of the paradigms where it was wrong to even, look at the masculine as love or as safety. And so this is also connected into your bloodline, and depending on what's been going on with your bloodline, and if you have, this type of trauma, miasma in the bloodline where it wasn't safe to treat to be in right relationship with the masculine, and if there's any disrespect towards the masculine too. So it's like zooming out and kind of looking at how you feel about the masculine principle and then bringing that to Holy Father. And even the relationship of getting to know Holy Father is such a journey because you're all your parts that don't trust him or thought that he was this like false, God that punishes, that hates women, right? Like that's not the Holy Father. But for the parts of you that thought that that's who he was, it's kind of like getting them to come forward as well and allowing them to meet him. And so something that I do, I just want to share this. something that I often do is like if I notice there's like a, younger version of me, an inner child version, a teenage aspect of me or something that doesn't know God the way I know God now, I will introduce her to who he really is, to who the Holy Father really is, and like that true unconditional Christ light, that true unconditional love of God that, loves you as a woman, as a daughter of Christ, Sophia, and that wants the best for her. And so God had me, I went through some deep initiations last year and I held this healing the father wound immersion when I was in Florida on a Holy Father grid. And I did some really deep work on that grid. And so I recorded this healing the father wound experience there. And then God always told me, like, you're going to do more. There's going to be more with this, but it's like a point in the timeline that you're going to open it up again. And that time is now, which is really exciting because that means that the men are coming home too. So this is like deeply related to the masculine awakening as well to Christ and like calling our men forward, especially with the injustices. And it's like, the brotherhood, the Christed brotherhood energy. So for us, our role right now is to cultivate that relationship with the Holy Father, with Christ, and really exemplify that in our reality to allow others to witness what's possible, right? As way showers, as path cutters, and to receive the love from the Father that the Father actually wants to give us. And then that's going to allow the masculine to also support us in the way that we need through the masculine relationships that we have. So a big piece, and I did a YouTube video about this, so you can check out my YouTube about divine masculine containment. I'm not going to talk a lot about that right now because I did a whole video on it, so you can go watch that. I'll link it below. But essentially, in Holy Father Christ Homecoming, we're going to have this live 5-day experience. It's already a portal. The architecture is really elevated. It's really exquisite. God's been just really like, showing up and showing out for it. And I'm going to be bringing through some really potent transmissions. I think there's going to be an activation in it from what God was revealing to me, potentially like a guided activation that you'll be able to listen to as part of the process. And then you're going to be able to receive group mentorship support from me in that space. So you're going to be able to ask me questions. I'm going to be able to open up my Oracle channel, receive for you from God of like what's in the highest alignment right now for you to receive around your process. What's the thing that's really alive for you that's going to help you come into this deeper experience of knowing God the Father and like how he is designed to provide for you and to be in a relationship that's authentic and to receive that divine masculine containment so that way you can really embrace your feminine aspects, your Sophianic wildness, right? Your divine feminine expression. So yeah, the medicine's starting to pour in, and I just have to say, like Elijah and I just did some really, really deep work, and it's connected to the RV pilgrimage that we were on for 2.5 years. And you guys know, if you've been following my journey, you know that we went through insane warfare. Like we were in spiritual battle for 2.5 years, doing grid work on the road. A divine union on the road doing grid work is like they, it's like target number one, right? And so, if you're doing similar work, you understand this. And so, we really went through a lot, and it's been such a deep healing process to recover from that trauma, that PTSD. And Holy Father has just brought in new templates for us for our union, new templates, all this stuff because we just finished clearing the last of the RV trauma and the last of the RV PTSD from being on the road and all the things that we witnessed and had to clear for the collective that we got to clear. It's an honor and a privilege to support God in the collective. But yeah, it was intense. And so the Holy Spirit has just been so alive. Like there's just so much coming in. So just wanted to like capture the medicine because it's fresh and I wanted to bring it forward and share this and allow you to also receive it and tune in to like, what does the Holy Father have in store for you right now? What is ready to elevate in your life? And what are you no longer willing to experience, right? When we come into ascension, organic ascension, we are essentially dismantling spiritual bondage that limits us from being in our sovereignty and our power. And so, a big part of why I am always like speaking about Christ and how Christ and Holy Father are like that relationship is so foundational is because the spiritual bondage, especially on the feminine, like when you are in that relationship with Holy Father, he can start to break things off of you, and you don't have to do all of the emotional labor work that you think you have to do. It's not that you're bypassing or you have to like, oh, I'm not going to feel into this or do like, no, you have to process. I mean, I had makeup on earlier. I cried it all off, through my processing, just part of the process for me, right? Through the purge, through the tears. So you have to feel it, but it can be done in a way that's easeful. And you don't have to be like in the warfare, in the bondage while you're clearing it. You're able to step outside of that realm because Holy Father holds that architecture for you to do that. And so, yeah, it's just amazing what's been coming through. And I'm really excited to hold this experience. It's really close to my heart. I am so passionate about this work because I know the fruit that it bears, the difference that it makes outside of all the religious programming and bondage, outside of the fallen false father and healing the father wound immersion. It's now a self-guided journey. It's one of my favorite containers I've ever held, and it holds really potent medicine. And so you receive that with the live experience. And then, yeah, we're going to be able to go deep over the 5 days. So that's going to start on the 21st. And so if you're feeling called to that, I'll put a link here below. You can reach out to me as well. And yeah, inquire. I'm going to keep it an intimate space. We already have two sisters in so far, and I know several of you have reached out to me. So if you are being called, I definitely invite you to step in. Yeah, I'm going to keep it a small group because it's just meant to be like an intimate circle for the space. And yeah, there will be lifetime access, all of that. And then who else knows what's going to pour in for this experience? I just know that we're going to be doing some really deep work, and it's going to, yeah, really lift up the Sophianic collective. So, I send my love and blessings to you. Just know that even if you don't have a strong relationship with a father, it is available for you. It was something I resisted for a long time and avoided. And I didn't have a secure attachment with Holy Father, and it was really painful. And when I started developing a secure relationship, it took time, but when I was ready and I started to do that, my entire life changed. And my life is so much easier now. Hardship, struggle, it's released, all of this fake bondage. It's not fake. We experience it as real, but all of this like fake inorganic bondage that was controlling me through the fallen father matrices and all of that programming, it just lifted. And I was able to experience more joy and pleasure, and the best part was like I just feel safe with God now. And even though I'm still living in moments of uncertainty and taking leaps and God's leading me places, I feel safe. And I know that God's always providing for me, and I'm always going to have what I need and more. And my belief systems have changed so much, which God ordained belief systems is a teaching that Holy Father gave me. And that's something that I talk about a lot within these experiences because it makes a difference, right? Because our beliefs are the ones that like how we control our reality, which that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so here it is. Here's the medicine for today. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on and share it. And if you're feeling called, I'd love to support you in this. Feel free to reach out to me. We could see if it's aligned. And yeah, blessings, 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 blessings to you. And yeah, just be open to receive because it's here. Okay. See you guys.